Howdy on Lex Lives. I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright, let's see if we can't do better today than I've been doing lately. I want to try and get a silencer. I think there's at least one gun place here in town. This is electronics. Yeah, so we need to head over there. Get over to the gun store. Oop, oop, oop. This is not a path, buddy. Back it up. Can't get down in there. I mean, I can get down in there. It's not going to go where I want to. You could go there, but do you really want to? Alright. Might be too recent for this place to have stuff. Nope. Alright. Well, at least that shelf is ready to be flipped. This shelf is nothing. So for another week in a row, I think this is like 4 now, at least. It's empty. Dang it. It wasn't ready. Dude didn't send us a message or show up for D&D. So I don't know what the deal is. I guess I'm gonna have to contact him. And just be like, hey man, are you gonna play this anymore? Or, we going back to 3-player D&D? Is that the plan here? I don't appreciate the lack of communication. A week or 2, I can understand. A month is pushing it. Because he has talked to my sister in that time, so I know there's no reason for him not to be communicating. So yeah, so we play Gloomhaven. That's our go-to game at the moment. I tell you what, man. Whoa. It is something else at the moment. Sometimes the guy does, you know, the guy. Sometimes the guy does stuff that drives me crazy. Oh, it's empty. I've been in here too. All right, we're gonna have to hit a different store then, man. I mean, a different town. But sometimes the other DM guy, he whoa, that's a lot of zombies falling on the ceiling here. It's not a bad haul, man. And sometimes sometimes I'm just like, why are you even playing with this? Like, I just don't understand. Last night was a, why are you even playing this game? I don't understand. Why do you even want to play? So we get into this, mission, and it's a tough one. It is definitely a tough one. And, there's 4 rooms, and we have to clear all the monsters in it. And you're thinking, 4 rooms, that's not very big, but the way the game plays is kind of ridiculous sometimes. And so, sprained leg. Jumping or sprinting. Okay, well, I'm gonna head to a different town. See if we can't find the gun I'm looking for, or the gun mod. I want the silencer for my gun here. It helps a little bit. So we get in there last night, and basically we finished last session, which would have been Tuesday night. We already played 2 times this week, and but when the other guy doesn't show up, we play, because it's a big game. It's massive. Who knows if we'll ever get to the end of it. It's that big. And so I think one of the guys went up a level, but maybe everybody went up a level. And so what the game does is, because of the way it works, you get quests that retire your character, and so you have to start a new character. Like if you hit that retirement moment, your character is done. Like you don't get to continue with him. So you gotta start over from the beginning with a new character. A lot of times you get like some levels to level up, so they're not completely new, but you know, like my level 9 character retires, I'm not getting a level 9 character back, right? But you also often unlock a new class because of the way the game works. The board game is pretty cool because it's got a lot of boxes that are sealed, and so as you play the game, you unseal things, envelopes, maps, new classes that are sealed away so you don't even know what they are, that kind of stuff. And so I think that's really cool. And so the video game is basically the board game, you know, just with animations, and you can play it online, which works since we're not all in the same city. And so so there's a lot of stuff we don't know about the game, a lot of classes we've never seen, right? Because there's like 16 or 20 classes to unlock, and you know, we've got like 6. So I think we're like 8 at this point, but so that's a lot of classes still to unlock that we've never seen. Woo. And I don't want to go this way, I want to go this way. So what has happened is everybody has got a new class except for my one character, the Brute. And so what that means is the Brute is now level 9, and everybody else is a lower level. And so what the game does is it averages your levels to pick... Okay, I'm sure there's a gun place in this town. I just don't... Oop, I don't want to go down. I want to go out here to this other road I thought I was turning onto. This road. And, so... Sunday, we were hitting level 2 dungeons. Which doesn't mean it's really all that easier. I don't know what the difference is between the levels. Because the bad guys all seem to have the same hit points as they had before. Maybe they do more damage. I don't know. I don't think so, though. They seem pretty regular. Maybe they get more abilities like our characters do, but I don't think that's true either. I'd have to look it up. I don't know what happens when bad guys go up levels in that game. But, so we moved from level 2 to level 4 because everybody went up levels. And so our average got higher. And so, as soon as we started last night, I guess that was Tuesday night when we went up the levels. Because as soon as we started last night, the first words out of his mouth were, "It's going to be difficult tonight because, you know, we went up to level 4 now, so... I don't know if maybe you want to switch characters or, you know, something like that so that we can bring the level back down." No, the game should still work, man. It's okay to go up levels. I'm not giving up my level 9 character until he retires. That's just a weird way to start the game, okay? And then, is that a Shotgun Messiah here? Looks like it. Or no, that's an electronics store. Nope, not what I want then. Not what I want. Looking for the Shotgun Messiah. That's the second post office I've seen. That seems really close together for post offices. This isn't a road. Where you hiding the Shotgun Messiah, man? So I'm like, oh great, so we're playing Mopey tonight. Gotcha. All right, I so enjoy it going in when you know, he's Mopey, and you know, me and the other guy are having fun, and he's just like, oh, everything's so tough now, and you know, our characters are such low level, and you know, I mean, their averages are 4. We're not talking like level 1 characters here. Everybody's character's like level 3 or so. Except for that one level 9 character. And again, the only difference is the amount of abilities you have to choose from. You still have the same amount of cards that you're allowed to take with you into a dungeon, but you get to choose from a larger pool of cards. Now, do some of those cards come out more powerful than the ones you start with? Sure. But should one card extra in your deck make that big a difference? No, because you're still stuck with the other... How many cards you got? Like, 7 other cards are still going to be those 7 cards you're going to have access to. Or, like, I don't know, I think the one guy has, like, 16 cards to choose from, and the Brute has 10, so it varies from class to class. And, you know, so it's a weird thing to start moping over. And so then we get in there and we have to take out this doorway. For some reason, we haven't seen this before, but the doors had to be killed. And so we kill the door, and then I put my Brute in the room and start attacking, right? Because that's his job. He's a fighter, you know, up close with his sword and shield kind of guy. What I didn't expect was for the room to be full of skeletons, because for whatever reason, skeletons in Gloomhaven are overpowered. I feel like it's wrong how overpowered they are, because they're like fodder characters that show up all the time, and they're one of the few characters we've come across that can hit multiple times in a turn. And so they're doing like 3 attacks per turn, which is a lot because, you know, as a player you get 1 basically. And so it's ridiculous how powerful these skeletons are. Even if we were level 2 dungeon going in, there'd still be all those skeletons, and they'd still be taking their 3 attacks per turn. And so I think I already came in here recently. Yeah. I mean, I know this wasn't guns, but I do like to check in here for schematics, because maybe I'll find the silencer schematic, because that's the other thing I need. I need either the silencer schematic or an actual silencer. I can't believe I can't find a gun store yet. Okay, this is Savage County. This is the food place. So we got a restaurant over here on the left. There's the hardware. There's another hardware. I guess the Savage Country would also work. They usually have a gun thing on the back wall, right? Did I see a Savage Country? Because in my brain I just think of it as a clothing shop. So we get in there and all the skeletons start hitting, right? And they lay waste to my brute. They just hit so many times because he's the only one in the room, and they can't get past him out the door. I've basically blocked the doorway so the bad guys can't get to the rest of the group, and which means that the 4 or 5 skeletons that were in the room all take all their attacks against my guy, and so they're all hitting for like 3-4 damage. You know, I'm throwing up, I've got a shield I can use once, I've got chest plate that'll reduce damage like 3 times. Sometimes they miss you. But it's a lot of attacks against my one character. So when it was all done, my guy went from like 25 hit points to 7 hit points, which is a lot. And I think on top of that, no, maybe it was and then after the second turn, I had to burn like 4 cards to stay alive because it's a weird thing in the game. If you take enough damage to die, you can get rid of a card from your deck to stop the damage from killing you, but then you can't use that card anymore, right? And so it's not good. Because remember, the fewer cards you have, the quicker you're not going to have any more turns. And so, so it was looking pretty bad for my brute already, and then, the DM guy, he's like, oh, yep, see, this is just this level 4 stuff. I guess we're gonna have to come back and do this later. Maybe we'll have to go up some levels or something. So you go up a level, you get access to a new card, which at best would give you 1 new type of attack or ability for 1 turn. Right, it's not like you keep using the same card over and over again. You use the card, it goes in your discard pile, or if it's a burn card, then it goes into your burn pile, and then you don't get it back until you rest. And then once you rest, you have to burn a card when you rest, and so you're basically on a timer counting down. That's the working stiff. Okay, this town sucks. I don't see any guns anywhere in this town. I need guns, game. Where's the next town? We can go north here, I guess. Into the frozen wastelands. So, so we don't even finish clearing that first room, and he's like, well, I'm going to go see what's in the other door since we're not going to be able to complete this. And so he runs across the other doorway, and me and the other guy and our 3 characters finish off that room. I think the brute died before we could finish off that room, and then so it was just my Night Shroud, and I don't remember what the healer guy's called. The Night Shroud is kind of like an invisible assassin guy, which makes him if you can arrange it, you can be invisible every turn, which means the bad guys can't attack you. But he also doesn't do that much damage. It's like twos and threes for the most part. Whereas my brute does like threes to fives. You know, and so he goes over, he opens that door. It's full of guys. They attack him, of course, because that's what bad guys do. And so we head over there, and we start to attack the room, and the room is full of bad guys. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to get through this. I don't know. I can't believe that we'd have enough cards to kill all the stuff that's on this map. It was a lot of bad guys. And, because like I said, the amount of damage that you do as a character doesn't necessarily go up as you get a bigger card pool. Because you still can only take the same amount of cards into the dungeon. You just have a bigger pool of cards to select from. And so, you know, we get in there, and as soon as we get in there, the DM is like, yeah, we can't do this without the brute. We gotta have the brute, and he's gone now, so, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm gonna reset the map, but, you know, I don't know what we're gonna do, and I'm just like, oh, this is, I hate playing when people are like this. So just try. Just fight a little bit, okay? Actually do some damage once in a while. Like, it's crazy. His character right now is... I told him going in, it's a hard character to play. It's one of the starter characters. I didn't like it when I tried to play it. It was too difficult. I'm not saying it's useless. It's supposed to be pretty powerful, I guess. But it takes a lot of thinking. Not that I'm against thinking, obviously, but you know, I prefer a good fighter character when I'm playing a game. I can't help it. I got that Mega Man, you know, disease, I call it, where I think I can kill it before it kills me, and oh, we got a runner. Ouchie. To use one of my heal kits here, man. I just came to get some gas, if they had any gas in here. Just looking for some gas cans out back here. I don't really see any. I don't want to go down below. And, you know, and so I get my Night Shroud in there, turn him invisible so he can't be targeted. Our healer stepped into the room too far and got caught, and so he took a lot of damage real quick. And so he only lasted like 2 turns. But even before he got hit the first time, right, the dude is like, yeah, there's no way we can do this without the brute. And so he's like, I'm gonna go open the other door so that we know what's on the entire map. You know, I mean, it's not like we can finish off the rooms with just the guys we've got. And I'm just like, so yeah, okay, I got distracted by that attack. So his class is called a Mind Thief, and it seems to be about, it seems to be about, like, controlling the enemy, or, like, buffing your allies so that they do more attacks and damage and stuff. But instead, he went through his deck, because you have more cards than you're allowed to take, even when you start at level 1. And so you can rearrange your deck how you want to play. The problem is that how he wants to play is that almost every card in his hand allows him to move or run, or not, I guess move and run are the same thing. Allow him to move or heal himself. That doesn't help anybody. I mean, sure, it helps him, but it doesn't help the rest of us. He's got none of the summons. Oh, what do we get? 50% less damage from collapsing mines. And, am I aiming? Right, and then I just easily take that guy down. I don't know. Yeah, I really need to remember to turn off my email. Ba-da-bum. And, so it's like, yep, I'm gonna go find out what's behind this other door with my run and heal character. But yeah, no wonder why we're having struggling to get through these things. And again, his character does like 1 or 2 points of damage. Because all he took was stuff to protect him, or to run away, or to heal. You know, it's the same thing when we play D&D. Basically, whatever class I take, it doesn't matter what it is, I have to set it up to be, you know, high damage, frontline, protect the group kind of thing. Because it doesn't matter what class he's taken, he's not going to play that way. I mean, I've told the story about the time I ran away as a wizard. And I've told this story too, but I think it's been a while since I talked about, we did this campaign. And so what happens is, we've played a few campaigns now, and so every campaign, I like to try a different class, right? Different class, try out the different abilities, see what I like, what I don't like. And so he does the same thing. But man, I tell you, it's like he's psychic, because whatever it is that I think I might want to play is what he ends up choosing half the time, more than half the time. And so, you know, like the first time we go to play D&D under the other guy, I thought, I'm gonna play a wizard, and you know, I'm pretty, I don't know, pretty nice, I guess, when it comes to that kind of stuff. So if somebody wants to do the thing I want to do, I'll just let them do it, because I can play something else. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I've never been so married to a concept when I'm doing things with other people that I can't, you know, give it up to do whatever it is they want to do, I guess. And so, you know, and so it happens a lot. And so then I'm like, all right, we're gonna run this new campaign. I think I want to try a monk. Well, he makes a monk, and I'm like, oh. So I've never played a monk, actually. I think next time I'm gonna have to try one. I don't know if that was in the game or in real life. I just heard a weird noise. And so, he makes a monk. And I'm like, okay, well, I haven't played a cleric yet, so I'll try a cleric. And there's one of those times where he's like every time it seems like I have to make 2 characters so that we have a team of 4. And so I'm like, alright, I'll make a second character. So I made a cleric, and then I made a thief, and he made a monk. So in that arrangement, now obviously you can play the different classes different ways. So there's not a specific way to play a class or anything, but if you're looking at the I mean, it's not a trinity, but the holy trinity of groups, right, is a tank, a healer, and some DPS. So in a group of um, monk, cleric, rogue, and sorcerer, that's a monk tank. Now D&D doesn't really have a lot of taunt, so there isn't a way to make the bad guys, for the most part, hit a specific character. But what I usually end up doing is taking my tank character and putting them, in the face of the bad guys. And so monk would be a tank, cleric is your healer, rogue and sorcerer or DPS, right? That is the way the game runs. And man, I'll tell you what, if he didn't, as soon as he could, alter the way his monk works, so that he could, so one of the things that you do when you level up in D&D is you get access to feats. Feats give you extra abilities that your class otherwise wouldn't have. And so what he did was he took a variant human, which I feel is kind of shady to take a variant human, because none of the other classes get a feat to start with. And so it's a little weird to get, because feats aren't weak. Feats are often very powerful abilities that get added to your character. And so he had read somewhere how to make a monk that could never be attacked. And so that's what he pieced together, was a monk who could never be attacked. Look, here's a shotgun messiah, please. And so what he did was he took a variant human so he could start with a feat. The feat he took was I'm trying to remember which order they went in. I don't think the order matters, but basically the feat he took was the ability to hit a bad guy, and as long as you hit a bad guy, you could leave their area without them attacking you. Because in D&D, okay, gun store, there are no guns in your gun store. In D&D, when you move up to a bad guy and then move away from the bad guy, he gets an opportunity attack. I mean, you also get opportunity attacks. It's not a one-way thing. I saw that in the other place and just wasn't sure. Weak gun store. Gun store with no guns. I didn't even want a gun. I wanted a silencer, but all you gave me was steel knuckle parts. That's not even a gun. It's not even gun related. Okay, fine. Let's go. I don't know, what do we do? We continue going north to see what happens here in the cold and fog that I can't see through. I don't know if I can fit down here. I don't think I can fit through that tiny... Huh. So he makes his monk so they can hit a guy and then leave without taking an opportunity attack, which is what it's called when you move away and they can hit you once. But they can only do that once per turn, right? So he didn't save everybody else. It only saves him. And then when he got to level 4, so the monk also gets improved movement as he levels up, and which means he can move farther on his turn. And he took this other feat that gave him even more movement. So he's moving like 60, 80, 90 feet on his turn. You normally get to move 30. And on top of that, if he takes an attack, doesn't matter if it hits or not, he can't be attacked back. And the monk can hit so many times, like 5 or 6 times a turn. And so he basically would just run up, take a bunch of tiny attacks, didn't care if they landed or not, and then run away. Far enough away that the bad guys would go for other people. And so he would do stuff like run up, hit the bad guys, and then run away, leaving the sorcerer behind to take all the attacks from the bad guys. And so I had to take my cleric, the healer, and my thief, the DPS, and turn them into tanks. They had to switch to be frontline characters. And so by the time I got to whatever level it is you choose your subclass, on my cleric, I had to take war cleric because I needed the extra defense, and the war cleric does extra damage, more fitting of a fighter, instead of better heals or something. And whoa. I just ran it here at 100 miles an hour. So yeah, so now he's playing his Mind Thief the same way. His Mind Thief is like, yeah, you guys go in the front. I will not do any damage, and then I will run away so that I can't be hit. And it's like, and he played his sorcerer kind of the same, his wizard kind of the same way, but the wizard had a lot of ranged attacks. And the Mind Thief is a melee fighter. It's get in its face and stab it, but he's never next to the bad guys, so he never gets to do anything. And then he'll run up and he'll have like a card that'll do 4 damage, but the bottom of it is like move 2 and heal, and then the other card will be like do 1 damage, and so he'll go with the 1 damage and then move and heal himself, even if he hasn't taken any damage, so that he's not next to the bad guys, so that they don't attack him. Please, kitty, I didn't pick up my motorcycle. But, yeah. I guess, real quick, the other thing I want to talk about, enough talking about our Gloomhaven session. It's just super frustrating. We need damage. We need so much damage to get through this thing, and he doesn't do any damage. And then he opens his mouth and he says stuff like, yeah, my guy's not set up for AoE damage right now. I've got my guy set up to do a lot of damage to a single target. And then he'll do a turn where he does uses a card that does 1 damage. Like, okay, fine, you can't hit the 5 guys that are standing there, but could you at least kill one of them if you're so set up to do single target damage? It'd be nice, because everybody basically just does single target damage. So I don't know what you're talking about. Just do some damage. But anyways, The Last of Us, 3 episodes in now. It's okay. I think I prefer... No, I don't think. I so far prefer The Walking Dead. If I'm gonna look at a zombie thing, I like The Walking Dead a lot better. I don't feel like the characters are that, personable, I guess might be the word. Like, they're okay, but they're not anybody that I feel like are worth saving. I mean, everybody's worth saving. That's not what I mean by that. But I mean, like, they're not the people that, you know... Like, okay, so watch The Ark, the first episode of The Ark. It's kind of dumb. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of dumb. But man, when that woman who had to step up to be the captain of the ship after all the command crew was destroyed, gets up there and gives her rousing speech to the crew, it was good rousing speech. And so then I'm like, ooh, you know what? I care about these characters. Not all of them, but a few of these characters are personable enough that I'm rooting for them. And I know I should be rooting for Joel and whatever, Ellie. I almost couldn't remember what her name was. But man, I don't care. They're not nice people. And... you know? And I was talking to one of my friends about it, I guess. And he likes it, and I said it was good. I liked it, but I wish the characters were more likable, and I felt the third episode had a prime example of maybe what I find wrong with the show, and that is Joel. Joel is not capable of operating in the real world in the way that he's set up. I don't understand how this guy is supposed to be both a smuggler and I don't want to deal with any person ever. How do those two things work together? I'm not saying he needs to be Han Solo, but he should know better how to work with people than he currently does, than he ever has, apparently. Like, sure, his daughter died, but it was 20 years ago. Should he still feel bad that his daughter died? Sure. Should he still be so angry about it? I don't think so. So I don't understand, like, the scene where he's sitting at the table with, I don't know, those people in episode 3, and he's like, yeah, I'd prefer it if you died, basically, to the other guy, and I'm just like, shouldn't he know better how to handle this situation? Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't be flinty cold, Clint Eastwood killer guy, but shouldn't he at least be able to work with people? Because that's showing that 15 years ago he still wasn't capable of working with people. How do you go 15 plus years of being a smuggler and not learn how to interact with people in a better way than he currently does? I just don't get it. And then also in the episode they separate from each other and wander around, and Ellie runs across a crushed zombie and it makes some noise and Joel doesn't even go check. Like, do you people not live in the cordyceps zombie world? I don't understand. Like, so far you guys act like the zombie apocalypse just happened. Where's your caution? I think that's what I like about The Walking Dead so much, is that, it's pretty clear at the beginning they don't know what's going on, but then as the show progresses, they learn more and more about the world they live in, right? And they get better and better at living in it. But Joel seems like he's never been in the zombie apocalypse half the time. They make so much noise for talking about how they can't make a lot of noise and just stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I never made it through the game. I didn't like the gameplay enough to care, and the weird off-screen kill ya deaths are just too frustrating for me. Maybe I'll go back and try it again sometime in the future, but yeah. So pretty sure I'm not gonna like this as much as I like The Walking Dead. All right, with that, be better than the small things, lean to the light. I will talk to you later.